off here, I know we talked a lot about you doing blockchain and kind of that's the space that you're in. So outside of maybe your what I would call safer investment vehicle, that being stocks and things like that, because over the long haul that's going to go up, continue to trend upwardly. Do you do other things that's maybe a little bit more riskier, given the fact that you're still relatively young and are making a decent amount? Do you do other things around that kind of blockchain space? Any of those type of investment? I know. Again, I'm a big real estate guy, and I obviously do the 401k just from the uh, just with through my employer, and I do have a brokerage account and things like that. But I'm not maybe a big say crypto guy, or I wouldn't even call myself a big stock guy, even though I have those I have money in the market. I think what is it FTX, which I what is that? What is that? FTX stands for. I forget.
The acronym for FTX is I don't think anybody knows what that acronym is, but
Okay, but when you see that kind of crash, and it seems like that was a lot uh, due to
yeah,
maybe the
unfortunately,
CEO or
I'm unable
whatever.
to talk about
Okay,
FTX.
okay, okay.
Um,
No, I
but
understand that. But well, so kind of going back to the whole kind of the blockchain thing and the investments outside of the 401k, do you kind of see yourself investing in that space as well, or being an investor in that space, or is it just kind of sticking with the stock market and uh, that's it?
yeah, no, certainly. So first off, none of this is financial advice.
Right. No, yeah, for sure. And I always like to, preface that. I think that's a good point. I remember saying that on a last interview. Hey, none of this is financial advice. This is kind of what, his particular situation is, and that can be based on a number of different things that kind of just fits what he's looking for and things like that. So don't take this and try to mimic exactly what it is that he's doing. This is just kind of how he's doing things, which is specific and particular to him. So go
So
ahead.
it's currently so my foray into blockchain technology started when I was in law school. And again, it goes back to competency leads to compensation. So um, I would say that the blockchain space and cryptocurrencies is certainly not for the faint at heart. It definitely requires some kind of technological savvy. Reason being is blockchain technology is really complex. It's certainly not anything close to like Windows or your iPhone or Excel. It's certainly really more complicated than that. And when making investments into cryptocurrency, so one of the notions of cryptocurrency and blockchain technology is that it's open source. So when you hear a company or an entity or a protocol say that we have this token and we have this platform that's going to do X, Y, and Z, most of the time, if they're following the blockchain ethos, then all of that computer coding would be open source. So you can go on GitHub and you can examine the source code and you can see right there and then that if what that company or protocol is professing to be true is actually true because you're looking at the computer code. And if their computer code and if their technological stack is not open source, then they're not following the blockchain ethos. So that right there gives you a red flag.
So open source just means that it can be, whoever, just anyone can actually go and see what's going on in terms of the code and whether it's what they, the I guess the,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, so there's that, and furthermore, open source. If it's truly open source, somebody should be able to copy and paste the code and deploy it themselves as
Right.
well to make it duplicable. Maybe they change something. I mean, that's how a lot of blockchain started, where you had the open source code of Bitcoin, and then Ethereum came along, and they used the aspects of Bitcoin to create Ethereum, and then Ethereum created new features or abilities on top of blockchain, and then that's all open source. And a lot of these tokens that are on the Ethereum blockchain took the open source coding from Ethereum, changed a little bit, redeployed it, and created their own cryptocurrency on the Ethereum blockchain, whatever. So it's a lot of open source coding, it's a lot of auditing, and it's a lot of technological know-how. So for those that want to invest into cryptocurrencies, by just going on Twitter and reading the marketing of different protocols, you potentially could be setting yourself up for failure. I mean, FTX is a perfect example. There are tokens that are out there that have, and you'll hear things like decentralized finance. And there's a lot of these protocols that say, buy this token, invest it into us, and you get 20% interest at the end of the year. And so one of those is a token called Terra Luna, and Terra was its own blockchain, and Luna was the cryptocurrency associated with the blockchain. And you can take your Luna and you can exchange it for, let's say the token Luna was at $50. You can take that token, exchange it for stable coins, which is supposed to be one-to-one backed by the dollar, the US dollar. So you take that stable coin, it's called, I think they were called UST, so UST, US Terras. You take those Terras, you invest it into an application called Anchor Protocol, and then you would get 20% off of those stable coin. You get 20% interest. And then Terra Luna collapsed. So it was billions of dollars that collapsed. And a lot of people invested into it because they saw, 20% APR, and they were like, oh, okay, well, I want 20%. And then it all crashed. And a lot of Main Street people lost all of their money, all of their life savings. And it's because they didn't do the due diligence.
Right.
And so,
go ahead.
And so with cryptocurrencies, it's really difficult for Main Street investors that don't have any technological know-how to invest with confidence in blockchain technology, because they are not the ones auditing. They're just going off of marketing and whatever, what have you. So I would say that if you are going to invest in cryptocurrencies, please ensure that you're only investing the amount of money that you can lose. Don't put all of your life savings into it. And same thing goes with NFTs as well. Don't invest a significant portion of your financial well-being into these kinds of applications and asset classes unless you know the code, unless you want to learn about the code, and unless you could afford to lose everything.